Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
3653 or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 28 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, and what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing and regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about prescription drugs, if you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you've got a health challenge you want help with, we are here for you. We are your healthcare advocates, your nutritional supplement advocates, and we can help you get off your prescriptions or help a loved one get off their prescriptions and get on a good nutritional supplement program. If you have questions about the longevity products or ingredients or formulations, please give us a call, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. We love hearing from you. If you have a success story you want to share, we love those too. And likewise, if you just want to contribute to our conversation, 844-236-6010 is your number on The Bright Side today and every day. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program, you can head over to my website, brightsideben.com. Take a look at our shopping cart. We've got all the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended on the program, including the Beyond Organic products, the Swear V and the Amasai. If you're interested in doing a Swear V cleanse, you can get your Swear V at brightsideben.com. You can also call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. If you're interested in checking out my videos, YouTube videos, myself and Amanda Rideout, health coach Amanda Rideout, do YouTube videos on various skincare subjects. We've been covering the different types of acne for the last couple of months. And we've got a new post coming up Saturday. If you're interested in checking out the YouTube post, you can head over to my Facebook page, thetruthwithben.com. They're all posted up there. And if you're interested in being notified when a new post comes up, send an email to ben@ksco.com, ben@ksco.com, and just put in the subject heading, request to be on the email list for notification of videos, something along those lines, and we'll get you on the list. And if you're interested in joining us in our weekly phone calls, myself and Dixie Sedgwick do a weekly phone call on various health subjects. You can dial in 605-562-3140 every Sunday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 605-562-3140. Participant access code 444973#. I talk for about 20 minutes or so, and then we take some questions. The whole call lasts about half an hour. It's every Sunday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Dial in number 605-562-3140. Participant access code 444973#. All right, thanks for joining us on The Bright Side. Last we spoke, we were talking about the problematic elements in wheat and in grains, really, all grains, and veggies for that matter, all as it regards anxiety. We've been talking about anxiety now for about a week or so. And then once we finish this up, we're going to continue talking about nitrogen and nitric oxide. There's an important nitric oxide component to mental health and anxiety issues as well. So anyway, we're talking about wheat, all grains, all veggies really, have compounds in them called lectins, Lectins. These lectins stimulate a defensive response, an inflammatory response. These plant compounds are recognized or interpreted by the body as a marker for an invasion. So we eat these compounds, they get into the digestive system, they can get into the blood even, and they stimulate a defensive response. They tell the body that the body has been invaded, and indeed it has, by a plant, or by a vegetable, or by a grain. And it's this defensive response that accounts for a lot of problems. Defensive response means inflammation. Inflammation is a really interesting word that gets thrown around a lot, especially in the world of medical marketing and pharmaceutical marketing. There's a commercial out now where, I think it's for Crohn's disease or some kind of bowel disease, where the lady says in her most scary voice that our intestinal disease, I love this, she goes, our intestinal disease may be caused by damaging inflammation. Ooh, damaging inflammation. And now you got these alternative doctors and practitioners of so-called evidence-based medicine, functional medicine. I'm highly suspicious of this, by the way. If you ever hear somebody, doctor say, well, I'm not a regular doctor, I do functional medicine, really what they're saying is all they do is just more tests, more diagnostics, and then they recommend vitamins instead of recommending drugs. Supposedly a little bit better, but they don't really address the core, the bottom line of disease states. Anyway, inflammation is becoming recognized as a precursor to disease, which is a good thing. Inflammation is really a precursor to disease, but the problem with this kind of marketing jargon associated with the word inflammation is we're not really told what inflammation is. If you understand what inflammation is, you don't need a doctor to address inflammation. You don't need a medical intervention to address inflammation. Inflammation is a defensive response. And whenever you have a defensive response, the only real thing you need to understand is what the offending agent is. So inflammation is a defensive response. That's the first thing to understand about inflammation. The second thing to understand about inflammation is that there's microscopic versions of it. When we think of inflammation, we tend to think of swelling in your ankle or a black eye or something along those lines where you can kind of see the inflammatory response. But there's a microscopic version, a cell version of inflammation. And this is really where the problems begin. The cells become inflamed, or the area around the cell becomes inflamed. It's a way that the body has of protecting itself, sequestering an invasion, if you will. Creating a beaver's dam or a wall around a problematic area to quarantine it. That's what inflammation is. It's quarantine. The body will secrete fibers and fluids and kind of block off that area. And this is a big problem. Now, if it happens once in a while, it's not a big problem because it's functional. It's protective. But if it happens over and over and over again, eventually you get these little pockets of beaver's dams, and these are little pockets of areas in the body, microscopic at first and then larger, that aren't getting fed, that aren't getting detoxified, and that aren't getting oxygen. And then, of course, that leads to more inflammation because without being fed and without being detoxified and without being oxygenated, areas become dead. Cells die, and so the body has to have more inflammation, more beaver's dam, more brick walls around the area, and then you get more starvation, suffocation, toxification, which leads to more inflammation, and this downward spiral continues. For many of us, it goes on for decades. If we have a digestive issue that results in an inflammatory response at birth or when we're infants and we don't do anything about it, by the time we're 50 or 60, you're going to have large areas of this inflammation. It starts off microscopic, but eventually it's going to become macroscopic, and that's a problem. It's a big problem. In fact, it is really the cause of degenerative disease. Long-term inflammation that follows attack. Attack. That's the word. That's really what we should be focusing on. Not the inflammatory response, but the attack. The medical model wants us looking at the inflammatory response because it can do something about the inflammatory response. The attack part, we don't need a doctor for that. We don't need the medical model for that. So they're not going to tell you about the attack part. They're going to tell you about the anti-inflammatory part because that's where the drugs come in. So if you got a health condition that's degenerative, that's long-term, that's chronic, you have an inflammatory problem. And if you have an inflammatory problem, you have an attack. And if you have an attack, the only question we need to know to mitigate or to reduce the inflammatory defensive response is what the heck is attacking the body. The simple-minded strategy about inflammation does not take into account that it's a defensive response, and as long as there's an offending agent, the inflammation is actually protective. The trick to dealing with inflammation, which is behind all degenerative disease, is not to shut it down with anti-inflammatories. That's stupidity. Capital S. Stupidity. Anti-inflammatories drugs are among the most deadly drugs of all. Aspirin, I'm talking aspirin, plain old aspirin, and Motrin for that matter. The trick to dealing with inflammation is not to shut it down, but to remove the stimulus, especially food stimuli, and it's so easy to do. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll continue when we come back from our break. You're listening to The Bright Side.
Have you noticed that in a disaster, the store shelves are emptied? Don't panic. You don't have to be part of the fear and chaos if you have a supply of Go Foods. Go Foods can help you rest easy knowing your greatest dependency of food is covered. Call now to take advantage of our Freedom Packs or set up your food savings account. Call us at 1-800-648-9753 or on the web at www.storefoodnow.com. That's 1-800-648-9753 or www.storefoodnow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237. Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
Yeah?
Did you want to see me, sir?
Well, I did, but now that I do, I'm not so sure.
Sir?
Johnson, I got a mission for you that could change your life.
Oh, good, sir.
It involves traveling halfway around the world without so much as half a clue of where you're going or what you're going to do when you get there.
Situation normal, sir?
Uh-huh. But I'll be leading this mission, Johnson, so I'll be telling you what to do.
You, sir?
That's right, Johnson, and I say first things first.
Oh, good plan, sir.
And what I say is first is food. Always remember that, Johnson. Food is a big deal.
Sir, my brother-in-law can get us a really good deal on some surplus MREs.
Johnson, if you've got half a brain and that empty head of yours, you'll call the freeze-dry guy like I did. That food is better for you, it rehydrates faster, and it's good, Johnson. And it keeps for up to 30 years.
Will we be gone that long, sir?
I hope not. Now get your supplies organized and meet me down to the pier at dawn on Sunday. We sail at sunrise.
Yes, sir.
This adventure is brought to you by the Freeze Dry Guy. Call 866-404-3663 or visit freezedryguy.com.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at gcnlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at gcnlive.com. We are America's largest independently owned communications network, GCN.
Okay, we are back on the bright side. Got lines open for you at 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls in the bottom of the hour, 844-236-6010. If you're interested in purchasing any of the longevity products, including the Beyond Organic, Suero V, and Omicide, if you're interested in doing a 3-day cleanse, 1-day cleanse, 2-day cleanse, you definitely want to do it with your Suero V. You can find out all about it by checking out my website, brightsideben.com, or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470. Make sure you ask about joining the Brightside Ben team. For a one-time $10 fee, you can start a longevity business, and I can help you build your longevity business.